2 o'clock.
Okay, it's 2 o'clock, so let's get started. All right, first of all, thank you all for coming. As always, it's really nice to see so many people here. This is a class I've been looking forward to for a long time. I like them all, but this one I think is going to be so good. It's going to be so much fun for me to give because you're going to learn so much. So let's just jump right into it. I just want to tell you one funny thing before we start. So the background behind me, you know how people with their Zoom classes, their Zoom chats, they'll put up a background that looks like, you know, a garden or a spaceship interior or something like that. Someone asked me where I got the great kitchen background. Well, from my kitchen. It's a real kitchen. This is the real picture. This is live. So anyway, if you need a picture of a kitchen and you want to use mine, I'll send you a picture. Okay, let's get started. So today, it's all about photos on the Mac. We've got the handout as always. And I hope you'll follow along with the handout. I'll just remind you that today we are not talking about editing pictures because next Thursday in our grand finale class, I will be showing you how to edit pictures using photos on the Mac. But for today, we're going to do everything but that. Same as we did on Tuesday. We did everything but editing. So next Tuesday, we will edit photos on the iPhone, and next Thursday, we'll edit photos on the Mac using the Photos apps. But today, it's everything but. So let's get started. So how do we get pictures into the Photos app? Well, let's start by launching the Photos app. We'll see we have a lot of pictures here. So today we're dealing with photos on the Mac, and you know you may have a whole lot of pictures in there already. The reason you would have a lot, maybe you've been using it a long time, but also maybe because in your preferences for photos, maybe you have iCloud Photos turned on. So we're going to talk a little bit about iCloud and why you want to do this and how you want to do this. But basically, if you've got iCloud Photos turned on, and you take a picture with your iPhone, like so, and if iCloud Photos is turned on here, the photo will make its way to the Mac as long as they're both on Wi-Fi. So the phone sends it up via Wi-Fi, and the Mac pulls it down via Wi-Fi or via a cable connection to the internet. It's by far the easiest way to go. This is what I recommend, is to use iCloud Photos. If you run out of room for your photos, buy more space with iCloud. It's so cheap. 99 cents or maybe $1.99, even if it's $9.99 like I pay. It's so easy, and all your photos are backed up and they're shared across all your devices. So let's do that. But that's not the only way to get pictures in. Of course, if you take a picture through iCloud, you get the picture. But let's look at other ways you might get a picture. I'm going to go to the Finder here, and I'm going to drag a picture in. So I think on my desktop I have a picture. So here's this picture of a couple of helicopters. I'm kind of doctored up a little bit. So how can I get this in? Well, there's a variety of ways. I can drag it. I could drag it to photos like this, and you see the big green plus. It's going to go in here, and it should be. It's coming. You see a spinning beach ball, and there it is. Pictures here. That was easy. We're going to work with these pictures here of Steph Curry and Lady Gaga and Charlie the Lonesome Cougar. We're going to work on those a little bit later. Okay, it looks like we might have a question already. Oh, thank you for asking, Linda. We are using the latest version of Photos, the one that comes with Mac OS Catalina. Now, most of what I show you today is not specifically Catalina. Most of the stuff is going to work anyway, maybe just a little bit different on older versions. So that's a really good question. And if I were to give this class again, I would tell you right up front. I should have told you that to begin with. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's one way to import a picture. I'm going to throw that picture away and we're going to import it again. So if I click on it, now how can you get rid of it? There's a variety of ways to do that. The way I'm going to do it, I'm going to hold down the control key and click on it. I get a little menu and there's delete one photo. Okay, so I delete it. Let's go look at that picture again. Now we know what the picture looks like. It's these two helicopters. I can control click on it here, and I can come down here to share, and I can add it to photos like that. That's another way to do it. And in fact, and now there it is again, you can see. I'll delete it one more time. And let's do it another way. Yet another way. So I'm gonna go back to the Finder. It's supposed to go away, there it goes. Let's go back to the Finder and I'll double click this picture, and here's this picture again. Now, what am I gonna do with this? Well, I've got a share button right here, and once again I can add it to photos from here. So if you double click a picture and you're looking at it, look for the share button and add it, and you're all set. Okay, let's look at some other ways you might add a picture. Suppose you get an email. Here's an email with a picture, and yes, this is kind of rigged. I set this up. Here's an email that someone sent me that says, great job with the classes, I love them. It's from me. Well, all right. So suppose you have a picture in your email and you want to put this into photos. Well, we do the same thing we always do. We can hold down the control key on the keyboard. We're going to click on the picture, and we're going to export to photos. Now, it's too bad they don't use the same wording as they did in the Finder, but we export it, and now that picture is going to show up down here. There it is. Okay, so we're done with the mail. I'm going to quit the mail so we don't get distracted by that. Suppose you get a text message with a picture. Okay, so here's a picture, text message from Mom, a nice picture of some roses in the garden. What am I going to do? Of course, what am I always going to do? Hold down the control key, click on it, and add to photos library. So this is slightly different wording yet again, but there it is. Okay, so now I'm done with messages. I'll put that away. So you see all these pictures are here. Here's the roses, here's the Mac, here's the helicopters. So those are three ways to, at least three, to add pictures to your photos. Okay, now, let's talk about let's talk about where do they go when you import pictures. Well, you can see here that there's a folder here called, well, not quite a folder, it's a kind of pseudo album called imports. And you can see if I go to imports, here's our three pictures. If I went to photos, I went to the end here, here's one of them, and who knows where the other ones are? Well, there's a reason why we don't know where they are. It's because the date on the picture, when the picture was taken, has forced it to be higher up in our list of pictures here. So somewhere those pictures are up here, and we would find them if we scrolled around. But what's easier is to click where it says recents. So if I go to recents, now we see the last three pictures are the ones I brought in. So recents is dynamite. I love recents. So now you know. You won't be like the guy on the handout saying, where do they go? Now you know where they go. And you do whatever you want with them once you found them. Okay, now let's talk about getting pictures out of photos. There are lots of ways to get them out. One way is to click on a picture, and let's say you're looking at the picture like this, and now you want to do something with it. Well, you've got a very nice share button up here, okay, up at the top. So if I click on the share button, I get some options, and so I could email it to somebody, I could send it through messages, I could airdrop it, I could do some other things. But these are the ones you probably use the most, mail or messages. Very easy, very easy. And down here, we have people that we have emailed lately, or text messaged lately, or emailed lately, emailed lately. So this is handy in case you wanted to send it to one of these people. You could quickly choose them right from here, so you don't even have to address it. So this is pretty smooth. So I'll do this. Remember, I already turned off the mail program, so it's going to have to start the mail program, write an email to Mom, and include this picture. So Cross your fingers, it works. Here it comes. And there's the address to mom, and waiting for the picture. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. I know it's in there. All right, we'll just have to do that again, won't we? Okay, here's the picture. No, that's my picture. Here's photos. Here's a picture. Here I go to share. I share it to mom, and there it is. Okay, so would have been better if I'd have had mail still running. If it doesn't work, well, yeah, it happens to us all. Okay, so that's a nice example of how you can share. You can also just drag a picture out. So I'm going to make my desktop visible here by pulling my screen back a little so you can see the desktop. So I can take a picture and just drag it out, and if I had a folder in particular, I could drop it in a folder. So I'll drop this picture out here like this, if I can. It'd be nice if it worked. Let's do it from here. Yeah, I can do it from here. So here comes the picture, I think. Oh, I'm trying to drag it into recents. You can't do that either. If I drag it to the desktop, I can do it. So here comes our picture finally. You see the green circle with a plus. There goes that picture. And if I want to do another one, if I want to take the roses, I can drag that out here too. So there they go. So dragging them out is easy. Now, something happens when you drag them out, and that's they kind of lose their mind. They forget when the pictures were taken. So if I take this helicopter picture and drag this back out here, now I'm going to have two helicopters, and I'm going to make these bigger so you can see what's going on here. So this helicopter picture, if I get info on it, this one knows where it was taken. You see down here in the get info box, it knows the latitude and longitude of where it was taken. It also knows that this file was created at today, but it knows where it was taken. That was the main thing, is that it came from a certain location which is not far from here. The other one, depending on how I've set my settings, it might know where it came from. No, you see, it doesn't know where it came from. Why does it not know? What happened when I dragged it out? Well, what happened is it did what we said to do in the preferences. This is why I was saying, let's talk about your preferences. When you look in the general section of the photos preferences, you see a checkbox here called for metadata. It says include location information for published items. It actually does more than that. So I'll show you what happened to our rose picture. Our original rose picture we saw was somewhere in the past a few days ago. If I look at that picture, let's see how I find my roses. Here's our roses. If I get info again on that one, it doesn't know where it was taken, doesn't know the where. It also doesn't know the when. It still thinks that it was invented today, 2 minutes ago. So that's not a good thing sometimes. It can be a good thing if you're trying to send people pictures and you don't want them to know where you were or when you took them. Sometimes people don't want pictures of their children to be stamped with the date and the time and the location. But if you aren't trying to protect somebody, you might want to change the settings here, because when you do it like this, if I check this box like so, now I'm going to take this picture. I'm going to export this picture again to the same place. Here's our desktop folder. I'll put it there again. Let's just drag this thing over. And you'll see that this one, if we get info on this, there's a shortcut. It's Command-I. Here's the info here. So not only do I know where it was taken, but you're going to say, aha, look, it still doesn't know the right date. Well, it does if. Okay, I'm going to show you the if. If I double-click this, and if we look at this picture and we show the inspector knows when this picture was taken. It was taken June 10th. You see, this is information that's burned into the picture by the camera. June 10th. If we look at the other picture, so this is the one when we had the checkbox turned on, but look at the other one where the checkbox was turned off. Let me see if I can find it. Just a minute. Let me view these as a list like this. I think this is the one where it was turned off. Let's just open this up and see. Oh, that's the one that does have it. Let's see about the one that doesn't. I guess it's... Well, you got to take my word for it. If I ever found the picture again, it wouldn't remember the where and when. So anyhow, that's what that checkbox does, and you may want to experiment with that, because knowing where pictures came from, especially if you're moving pictures out and then going to move them back in, that location information is very handy, as we're going to see in just a few minutes. Okay, let me show you another way you can get a bunch of pictures out. Sometimes you want to send a lot of pictures out. So here's a folder full of wildflowers, and we'll make these thumbnails a little bigger. You see here I can make these bigger like this. So let's say that we are going to select some of these. I'm clicking on one and then holding down the command key, so I don't have to choose a whole bunch in a row. I can pick them in any order. So I'll pick these like this, maybe one more. So they tell us up here, 6 photos selected, and now I'm going to come up here and say I'm going to export these. So exporting is a handy way to do it, and I can tell them what file format I want, the quality I want, how big they should be. So sometimes these pictures are too big. When you take a picture with your iPhone, they can stretch to be, you know, as big as the screen. But if you're going to send it to somebody who's not going to view them on a big screen, you could make it smaller. So you can pick a different size. I prefer the full size when I can get it. So let's do that. And if I do this, when you export, then they're going to ask, where do you want them to go? And the smart thing to do is to make a new folder wherever they're going. Let's make a new folder. So I'll make this folder. This is going to be wildflowers. And we'll click create here. And now I'm going to export those into here. And if I go and look at our desktop and we look at our, we'll look at the picture we just made in the desktop, our folder. Here's our folder. Here's our pictures. So, you know, sometimes exporting is the right way to go, because you have a lot of things to send, and you're going to now take this folder and upload them to some sort of server. Fine, exporting is a good way. It's a little bit more controlled than just dragging them out. So, you know, they all work. So now you know. Okay, we've talked about sharing a little bit already, but we're going to talk about sharing a lot more starting now. So let's say you have an album, as I do here. I have lots of pictures, 103 pictures, it tells me at the top. And I could, of course, select a whole bunch like I've done before. This. I have 4 in a row. And I could share those with our dice button right up here. Okay, we've sort of done this already. But we can also do other things, like we could set our desktop picture. And if you look at my desktop right now, really, really dull, right? Nice gray, boring. Okay, well, we're going to set it to be a picture. Why don't I make it this picture right here? So what one does, there's a lot of things one could do. The easiest thing to do is to go to share. So here's our picture. Now we go to share, and right there it says set desktop picture. How easy is that? Okay, so I'll do that, and we'll just sit back and see what happens while I look at the chat messages here. So the question was regarding the metadata. Yes, if you include the metadata, then somebody who has the right tools would be able to open up the picture and see when the picture was taken and where it was taken. Yes, indeed. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. And that question about the difference between a folder and an album, that's coming right up, okay? Before we're done today, we'll see that. Okay, so now, did I set the desktop picture or did I not? Well, let's just hide our photos for a minute. And, oh, of course not. And the reason I didn't is because I'm using a program called Desktop Curtain to cover everything on the desktop. So let me just quit that. So there it is. I did do it. I was trying to keep things neat. So basically, the program I'm using called Desktop Curtain lets you throw a slip cover over the desktop so it's nice and clean. But let's just do it again. So long as we see it happening here. Let's make this picture. This looks like a good picture. We'll come up here and we will set desktop picture. And now we'll go look again, and what do you know? It's done. So really, really easy. And of course, I'm going to answer the question in advance. Somebody's probably thinking, could I use the control click? And the answer, of course, the answer is always you can use the control click. So let's find another good picture. Here's one the bluebonnet's in a cemetery. Unbelievable. So control click. And what are we going to do? We're going to go here to share and set desktop picture here. And just in case you don't believe it, there it is. There's the stone. So, all right. Well, so that's some sharing things that are fantastic. Let's look also at using our pictures as a screensaver. Okay. So let's do. Let's use a screensaver. So how are we going to do this? Well, let's see. Where's our photos? Here they are. Let's get our photos back. So, when your machine is starting to go to sleep, screensaver kicks in. It could do something boring, or it could do something that's custom and nice for you. The way you do that, so you go to System Preferences, and you go to your Desktop and Screensaver, and you pick the screensaver you want. So I'm going to say I like this photo wall, and then I'm going to tell it which pictures I want to use. So over here where it says source, I'm going to pick one of my albums. So I've already picked one, but I'll pick a different one. So I can go to the photo library here. And it's fine if you want to show the pictures that Apple gives you, like the landscapes or their flowers, fine. But we're going to go to our photo library, allegedly, and we're going to see all of our albums. And we're going to pick maybe some other album, and those are going to be our screensaver pictures. So this is really a nice way to have the pictures show up, and you get to look at them without you having just to really sit there and look at them. So I'm going to take this bunch of pictures from a Thanksgiving trip with Mom, and I'm going to let these pictures be our screensaver. So all I had to do is choose that like that, and you can see them going by. And if I don't want to wait the 10 minutes that it's going to take for the screensaver to kick in, as I would set this here, I'll just say preview it, and I can watch it, and you'll see, I hope you'll see the pictures go by. Now I don't know what happens when you do a screensaver with a zoom and sharing the screen, but cross your fingers. There you go. So I think there go the pictures. So that's kind of fun. It's a fun way to look at the pictures without having to just sit there and look at them. You'll just glance over, and there they'll be. All right, so I'm going to, I'm just going to wake it up here, and there you go. So that's our pictures. Okay. Was anyone able to see the screensaver? Did it actually show you the pictures? Crossing fingers. There's no way for me to tell. Okay, that's a yes. Thank you. That's great. That's great. Okay, let's move on to some other really neat stuff. How else might you share your pictures? Well, let's say that you have this terrific album of pictures, these Texas wildflowers, and you've decided that you want to make a coffee table book out of them. Okay? So what do? Well, what we used to do, used to come here to File, we'd go to Create, and there would be books, and you would just make them, and it was really, it was all built in. Apple doesn't do it that way anymore. Now, as of maybe the last 2 or 3 years, they leave the creation of the books and the calendars and the cards and the prints. All of that is left to third parties, but fortunately they do a really great job. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to Book, and now on my Mac you see these two things that don't say iPhoto, or they don't say Photos. They're from a company called Mimeo, another one called Motif. Well, you can go to the App Store, and when you do, you will see all the instructions that I'm giving you here that you're going to go find the things. So I'll add, I'll get this one called Milk, and we'll see what they do. And let's get this. So you get it. Usually the apps are free. And since you're sort of semi-buying it, you have to put in your Apple ID password. Also helps if you do it properly. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to have that, so I can put this away. You see, it's loading, coming around the circle here. And when I do this, now when I go to the books section on my copy of photos, I'm going to see another option here. I'm going to go to create, go to book, and now milk is there too. I'm going to go to motif because I think this is the one I know the best. So the idea there is that I'm going to find an album that I like. Now we'll talk about making an album in a minute, but we're going to assume that you've got an album, and then we're going to go make that book. So I'm going to go here to share, to create, go to books, and let's go to motif. And what they do is they work their way through, they tell you these different options. I'm going to do a hardcover 13 by 10 book. It's going to cost $52.99. If I do a smaller one, it's only $32. So let's do this one anyway. Why not? And so what happens is they look at your pictures and they figure out the ones. They look at the pictures in your book. They figure out which ones will work, and you get to pick a different style for each project. So I'm going to pick this one with the white background. This is showing me pages down here how pages will look. So I'll pick this book. And how many pages? I'm going to see if I can make. I'm going to see if I can make it shorter. No, 20 pages is all I can use. I'm going to let them. We'll just do a 20-page book. They're saying that they're all great. Thanks. They wanted more money, but I'm going to say continue here. And now, if we look at our book, well, it'd be better if I actually did it right. I think I made a one-page book. I did. We're going to make another book. Sorry, my mistake, folks. Let me go back here and do it one more time. Part of my screen gets covered up by the Zoom stuff, and I might have made a mistake. We'll do the Thanksgiving trip one anyway, just for the fun of it, make it different. Let's go to create, go to book. We'll go to motif. We'll do a hardcover book. We'll create, and yeah, so now they're finding the good pictures, the ones that are going to print well. They'll make sure that we don't have any duplicates in there. And now I'm going to pick, this looks like a great way to go. When you say autoflow, what it does is it takes your pictures and it lays them out for you. It saves you a gob of time. And then you can change things later. So I'm going to say autoflow. And yeah, now we're using 40 images. Before I said one image, and that was my mistake. So we'll just continue. So now we've got this book. And if we, here's page one, the cover. Go to the next page, the next page, the next page. And so let's do a little bit of editing just so you can see that it's easy to do. I'll come back here on the front, and I'm going to change the title here. Let's just say our 2014 Thanksgiving trip. Okay, that's easy. Pick a font if you want. You like something else. I'll pick, let's see, let's pick something a little bit more jazzy. We'll pick this one. Okay, so now maybe this is not the best picture to be on the cover. Maybe we should find a different picture. So I'm gonna scroll through the pictures here, and I'm gonna find a picture that's that does it for me. A nice wide picture that maybe we'll like. Let's take this one. So I'll take this one. Just drag it up. That's easy. Okay, and this is the flap. And let's go to the next page. Here's a nice deer, but it's kind of cropped funny. So I can click on the picture, and I can grab it and move it, put it where I want. That's easy. And here's a couple of nice pictures. I can actually grab between the pictures. I can drag it like this. Sort of fun. I can also put a different picture in there if I wanted. Maybe we want this one right here. I've got that, and once again, I can do like this. So lots and lots of fun. And in fact, let's look at another page here. I'll just move on to this page. Got two pictures on here. I'm going to hit this little layout button here and say, you know, I think I would like to have 3 pictures on the page, and I think I'd like a layout like I like this one here, so I'll pick this page. So now I've got room for one more picture, and I'll find another. If I can find another ocean picture, I'll throw that up there. Well, I'm not going to find it, but we'll pretend that this is these elk were pretty close, so we'll leave like that. So when you're done, all one needs to do is check out, and that's it. If you want to get an overview of your book, you can hit the thumbnails here, and you see how your book is. Anyway, the cards are the same, calendars are the same. I did a couple of projects for you so you could see. Here's a calendar that I made. Here's if you look at the cover, here's January, here's Mr. February, that's nice, March, and this was all auto float. I just let it happen, okay? So that's how you do the books, and the cards are similar, and it's all done here in the Create section. So you're going to have to go get an app and pull it in, okay? So but the apps are free, the products are not free. You want just regular prints? You know, you can print your own, but you want a really good print, send it out like this. They cost almost nothing. They're like 40 cents each. So this is what I do, okay? All right, so that's books, calendars, and cards. Okay, it's time to talk about sort of an overall viewing of your pictures. Let's look here at photos like this. Okay, so when you look at the photos, there's more than one way to do this. And the question's been asked if that motif group is my favorite. It seems to be the easiest one for me, but since you can download apps for free, find out which one's the easiest for you. Okay, you can make a couple projects, and your projects are going to end up down here at the bottom. So here's my Texas Wildflower book. Here's my calendar. Here's another Texas Wildflower book. Here's my Thanksgiving trip book. So they're all down there in projects. But we're going to look at photos up here. So while we're looking at photos, there's a little button here in this version of photos, and what this button does is it lets you show your pictures with the kind of aspect ratio that makes sense. Like this is a sideways picture, this is an up and down picture. Here's a sideways picture, here's a sideways picture, here's an up and down picture. Well, I'll make these thumbnails bigger so you can really see. If you want square thumbnails for some reason, you click this button here, and now everything's a square. And you notice that when they do this, by some miracle, they seem to crop the pictures just the way they should. So the subjects seem to still be in them, which is just amazing. That's because your pictures have been analyzed. So when we talked this Tuesday about your pictures being analyzed to find people and things and features of landscapes like mountains and oceans, that work is being done on your Mac, not on iCloud, and it doesn't know anything about what happened to these pictures when they were analyzed on the phone. So it's different things, different analyzing schemes. So you might find that your Mac knows something about your pictures that your phone doesn't, and vice versa. It's the way it goes, but it's a privacy thing. Apple doesn't want to handle the data about your pictures. They'll let you figure it out on your machine, but they don't want to know. If you're taking a lot of pictures of, I don't know, something you shouldn't be doing, they don't want to know about it. Okay, so when we view things like this, and we do all photos, we're literally seeing all photos. If we go down to the bottom here, you'll see these are some people I added a little while ago for a demonstration you're going to see. So these are all of our pictures, and why this is really good is it shows you the dates on these pictures. I think I'd like to get my pictures back. Here they are. It shows you the dates on the pictures when the pictures were taken, we think. So I'm gonna let's go to years so I can jump down here to the end. This is our problem, our December 2037, which is really not the case, right? These pictures were not taken in 2037. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the dates on these. So there's one of the nice things about looking at your pictures this way is you can see things like, you can see there's a problem. Like this picture is not from New Year's Eve on 2037. So I'm going to zoom this back out a little bit so I can see a little bit more at a time. But all the pictures from that one to this one, they need to get changed. So I've shift-clicked it to select them all. And where I'm going to change this is up here. I can adjust the date and time. Okay, so from the looks of this, all right, so, I mean, we got to figure out when this was. And this is my friend Mark and his family, and his boy looks to be about 12, I think maybe 11. I think he's about 22 now. So that's, and I look to be about 30, so this is probably 5 years ago. So no, this is probably about 15 years ago. So I'm going to guess, I'm just going to put a guess on this. I'm going to say these were taken in 2005. So it doesn't really matter. I just don't want them to be in 2037 anymore. So I asked Mark, he couldn't remember, but he thinks maybe 12 years ago. So I'm just going to come here and I'm going to say these were taken in 2005. And I think they came out at around Easter. So I'll just say that they came out, on the 17th or something. The 7th is good enough. I'll say it was 3:59 p.m. So, and we were not in El Salvador, as it turns out. So why did this happen? Well, it's because the camera that we were using to get these pictures, the clock was set wrong. And it was not an iPhone. I mean, this was taken before iPhones were invented. Didn't know where they were and didn't know when they were. So we're going to change this. We're going to make this say Los Angeles. No, we'll say Santa Barbara. That's just where it was. Santa Barbara, California, that one. So when I do this, and I hit this adjust button, it's going to change these 23 pictures. And finally, I'm going to have these out of my hair. Okay, I left them here just so I could show you this. And so hopefully what happens is they all get changed, and hopefully they're all going to kind of disappear. They did. They're back there in 2005 now. Awesome, finally. Okay, now I'm going to change these back to show us the thumbnails that aren't square, because I think it's just a little, I like the white space between them. So let's see if we can do that. Okay, this button should work. It hasn't worked yet, but it's going to work, I promise. Sometimes, it just can't keep up. But the question was asked about shift clicking. What I mean is I'm clicking on one picture. Let's say I want to get all these pictures of Stephen Curry here. Here he is. I'm clicking on one picture. Okay. Now I can zoom out. I clicked on one picture. If I hold down the shift key and I click on this picture 3 away from it, over to the right, I get everything in between. So if I want to get all the Steph Curry pictures, all I've got to do is click on the first one and then scroll to where the last one is, hold down the shift and click on that, and you see they're all highlighted. That's shift clicking, okay? That's shift clicking, and that works in lots of things. So shift clicking that's a great question. Great question about shift clicking. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to change. Well, I have a people album, and so what I want to do is I've loaded up my photos album with some pictures of Steph Curry, some pictures of Lady Gaga, and some pictures of Charlie the Lonesome Cougar. So when your pictures are brought into Photos, and when you're not using Photos, if you quit Photos and you give it enough time, like overnight, maybe longer, the Photos program will analyze your pictures, and it will figure out when it sees a face, it'll say that's a face. When it finds a face, you're going to see it's much easier for you to find your pictures when you've got faces that are named. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that, but first I'm going to show you my people album here. Everybody gets a people album, and the people that are in it because I did some work to name, to tell the program that's how this person is, who this person is. So I said, you know, this is Aaron. You know, this is Spencer. This is me. This is Tom. So if you have somebody, let's say you have a picture you don't, a set of pictures you don't need anymore, you can control click on it and you can just say remove it. You know, if for some reason you don't want to see something in your album anymore, that's okay. But now you notice what we don't see is we don't see Lady Gaga here, and we don't see Stephen Curry. So before I add them, I'm going to show you how we add more pictures, because see here, this is my nephew Spencer, and when I look at Spencer here, if I look at the pictures like this, here's all these pictures. They all have Spencer in them. Now might not be the only person in them, right? In most cases, he's not the only person in them, but he's in all of them. When we do it this way, we see the photos themselves. If we do it this way over here, if I click where it says faces in the top right corner, now we see there are all these pictures of him. And you see there through the years, different looks. And so the Photos program can figure out if it sees another picture sort of like this one, that it's probably Spencer. So here's what we're going to do. When there are additional photos that they're not sure about, you're going to see it up here. So I'm going to say review. And so when I do this review, it's going to ask me, is this Spencer, is this Spencer, is this Spencer? So all of these look like Spencer. So I'm going to say done. Now, you'll notice that there are only 8 pictures here that I am confirming. But if there are lots of other pictures that look like these pictures, I don't have to confirm them individually. So the Photos program is going to recognize them as some form of Spencer through the years. Okay, even if he grew a beard, I could show one picture and confirm it, and that would take care of him. So I'll say done. Let's see what they say about this now. Oh, I thought they were going to tell me how many pictures that we'd confirmed. But still in all, very handy to find all the pictures you ever wanted of my nephew. Now, what are we going to do about Lady Gaga and Steph Curry? Well, these pictures have been placed in here, and if I look here, it says unnamed. And how does it know to do that here? Well, it's because here under view I said previously to show face names. So when it shows the face name, it doesn't know who he is. So I'm going to name it. I'm going to click right here. I'm going to say this is Steph Curry. All right. So when I do that, it's going to figure out that this is one of many Steph Currys. Okay, I've got a lot of Steph Currys here. So let's go see what they do. That's Steph. Great. So if I'm going to the next picture, let's see. I'll just use. I'll go back like this, and I can click on this one. Let's see if they know this is also Steph. Not yet. He looks a little different here. So I'm going to say this is Steph Curry. Now it'd be easier if they could do a little bit more of the work for me. So what I'll do is go back to people here, and I should have a second person here, a 72nd person. Yes, I do, because I took one out. And let's see, here's Steph. So when we double click on Steph, they should figure out that there are more photos, and here they are. I'm going to say confirm additional photos. Now they haven't quite figured this out yet, and in time they will, and maybe by the time we're done today they will. But the idea is that you go to the people album and you say confirm additional photos. Now while we're here, let's see if we can do it with Lady Gaga, who's a little tricky because she changes her look all the time. Okay, so we'll do that. There's Lady Gaga, and if I go to our people here, here's one more. Let's go to Lady Gaga, and see there's a little updating here. So it won't do it now, but the idea is the same as we would confirm additional photos, and then we'd be able to pull up all of her photos at once. And even our friend Charlie the Lonesome Cougar, I believe they found his face here. So I'm going to name him. Okay. So hopefully in time I'll be able to simply click in the people album and find all of my Charlie the Lonesome Cougar pictures. Okay, so that's fun. Okay, let's talk about viewing our pictures. So let's go back to our one of our albums. In fact, we're going to make an album right now, and I'm going to show you there are a lot of albums that are sort of kind of pseudo albums already made for you. Photos, of course, is an album that has everything in it. Years are albums that are by the year. Okay, that's nice. Months are for the year you're in. You could do that. And days, of course, too. So these are all pictures I took yesterday or the day before. And now you're working our way back. Let's go back to all photos again. There's also memories. Now, memories are the same memories that you made in the Photos app on your phone and saved as memories. So I'm going to show you how we make a memory here. Let's say I want a memory of, let's see here, 4th of July. I'm going to make a memory out of this. So if I show as a memory, if I do this, I can play it. Here they go. They make a little movie, and hopefully there's there could be some sound somewhere. Let's see if we have, let me make sure my sound is on. It's a little bit tricky, but let's see. I'm not sure if, well, you're not going to be able to hear the sound, but this is the same thing that happened before. The sound doesn't play through. I'm looking for my speaker on and off, but that's the way it goes. How interesting. But the point is that I've got a movie here, which is a fun way to look at my pictures. And this little bar will disappear if I move away. Okay, here's the bad news is even though I've got this fun way to look at them, when you go to share it, you don't send it as a movie, okay? Even if you come down here and you add it to memories, even if you do this. So now it's part of memories. If I come back up here, so that was kind of temporary until now. Now I've got this one. Here's the one that was at the top before. Here's my friend Tom's backyard. What happens is if you share one of these, it just shares the photos. So you're way better off doing it on the iPhone, way better. So you can group things. You take an album. So here's take another album here. Here's a bunch of pictures from Germany. I can take these pictures. I can make a memory. That's great. And it automatically uses all the pictures that are in the album. It's nice. But you're better off if you make it, then go look at it on your phone. And when you look at it on your phone, you'll be able to share it as a real memory with a little movie. So that's what I would do. Okay, so let's see, though. I said there were other albums that are already made for you. And there's a Places album. This shows you all the places that you've taken pictures. Now, if I click once, I see those pictures. I'm going to go back. So that's nice. Somewhere up here in the great north, I took some pictures. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in like this with the plus down at the bottom right. I'm going to drag this around. So now I see that some of those pictures were way up north. Some of them were not quite as far north. If I double click, I'm not going to double click on the picture, just double click near the picture, and you can see that what used to be 140 pictures that were here have sort of spread out a little bit. Now I've got 70 here. So I'm going to look at those 70. And so here's 70 pictures from Langley. The other ones, if I go back, I'll see that there's some pictures here that were Portland and Seattle. They're not Langley. So if I go down here, further down in Oregon, that's on my airplane on the way to Oregon. Look here. That's one click. One click shows you the pictures. 2 clicks zooms in. Just remember that. Same as on your phone. So that's another album that's already made for you. And of course, you can search. So if I look for pictures that were taken in Santa Barbara, besides finding the ones that we just put there, I think you'll see in a minute. Let's show. All right, Santa Barbara. I have to move some things out of the way so I can see. I'm going to say see all. You see all. So this is the courthouse. This is more Courthouse, and somewhere in here I should eventually see my friend Mark and his family. Okay, be fun if it worked. It's going to work, I promise. All in good time when they finish processing. Okay, processing takes a little time. But still, the point is that you can search. So that's a place, that's another album in a way. Recents are the ones that I've worked with lately. Okay, these are the ones that I brought in lately. But then let's look at some other albums that are made here on the left, media types. All of my videos in one place, okay? All my videos, how nice. Okay, all of my selfies, okay? How nice, okay? Wear a mask. Okay, all of the live photos that I took by mistake, okay? So all the portraits, using the portrait mode, like this, where the background gets knocked out. We're gonna do some of this next Thursday. All the panoramas in one place. So you can see that this is really helping you too. Okay, all the screenshots. So that's a lot of them for me. I get a zillion screenshots. Okay, but let's say we want to make our own album. All right, the easiest way to do it, we'll go to Photos, and let's say, if I zoom this back out a little bit so I can see more pictures. Here's some pictures of Santa Monica lately. Let's see if I can do like this. I'll make them big enough so you can see them, I think. All right, so here's a picture. That's actually a movie. And I'm gonna hold down the Shift key, and I'm gonna click on the last picture, which is gonna be this one of the National Guard in front of Bloomingdale's. Okay, so I'm gonna click those. And now that I have them selected, what am I gonna do with this? Well, I can come up here to File, make a new album with selection. Easiest thing ever. So when I do this, it makes an album. It goes way down here to the right there, okay? It's called Photos, but I'm gonna call this June 1st, 2020 Santa Monica. Okay, call it anything I want. I can change the name later. But this, now I've got my pictures in an album. Easiest thing ever. Now we can also make albums that are, oh, by the way, if you look at these albums, you see what a mess. Some of them are alphabetical, but some of them aren't. And so here's L, M, and then C, then a T and an M. It's not in order at all. Luckily, our old friend, the Control Click, if there's one thing you get out of these last 8 or 9 weeks, it's hold the Control key down and click. If I Control click on my albums, I can sort these by name. Oh my gosh, so good. Now, hopefully that didn't just crash the program. It did. Okay, well, it wasn't that hard, guys. Let me try this again. I purposefully left them messed up so that I could do this maneuver for you. So I'm going to try this again. Sort by name. There they are. So numbers come before letters. So that's nice. Now, someone was asking, what's the difference between a folder and an album? Well, a folder holds albums. So as you can see, I have a lot of pictures from 2014 in Texas, all the way down to here. That's a lot. So what I want to do is make a folder and put them in that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply say, let's make a new folder. Okay, when I say new folder, where does it go? Well, let's go find it. There it is. Okay, I'm going to call this 2014 Texas. Okay, of course, there's nothing in it, right? Let's drag this up where it's closer to the 2014 stuff. This will be a little easier for me. I'll put it right about here. Okay, and I'm going to grab some albums. I'll hold down the Shift key and click on more than one album, but it doesn't work. So I'm going to have to do one at a time. So anyway, drag it in, and you can see they're going in. So I'm just pulling, I'm grabbing an album and dropping it into this folder. So in the end, I'm going to have an easier time finding my 2014 Texas pictures because they're all grouped now. That's all the folder's for, is to help you group albums. Okay, let's do one more here. Okay, there you go. So I think, oh boy, 2014 was a big year in Texas. I was there a lot, I guess. Let's do 2 more, be complete, and there you go. Okay, so now it's a lot neater. You see, quite a bit neater. Flop it out, look at any album I want. What fun. Okay, so that's what a folder's for. and they're really good. But let's do one other kind of album, which I really like. It's called a smart album. So let's say you're me, and you would like to have an album that has all the pictures of your immediate family. Okay, how am I gonna do this? Well, instead of making an album and dragging people in there, which is really hard, I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that in the people album here, I've got me, I've got mom, I have my sister, and I have my brother. So we've got all these people. So how can I put this in one album? Well, we're going to make a smart album. So when you make a smart album, you get instructions here. So I'm going to call this immediate family. I'm going to say, here's what it's got to be. If the person is, if it's me, there's 691 pictures with me in them. Okay, let's hit the plus again. Say, well, if the person is mom, let's go find, here's mom. Okay. And if the picture is, you're going to see that it looks like I'm making a mistake, but I'm doing it on purpose. Don't worry. If I say if the picture is Kate, okay, and I'll take the picture is, if the person is Spencer. So let's do this. Different Spencer than the nephew Spencer. All right, so we do this. Where's Spencer? There he is. Okay, so what you see is I get no pictures. That's because up here I made the mistake of saying match all. If it matches any of these things, that's what I want. So now the Photos program has gone through all the pictures. They found all the ones where the person is either me, mom, Kate, or Spence. There's 1,366 of them. I click OK here. Now, they don't move, okay? They don't move. They are right where they used to be. But this is like doing a find up here in the search box, and they're found. I mean, they're automatically found. And where does that album live? It's right here. This is my immediate family album. So if we look through all these, you're going to see every picture in here has either mom or me or my sister or both, right? Here's more me. Here's me with other people, but me, there's me and mom. It doesn't matter who else is in there as long as it's one of us. So anyway, there seems to be a preponderance of me. Here's happy birthday. So somewhere in here, there's mom. Here's mom. Here's mom. Here's mom. So anyway, fun stuff. And it's a really great way for you to find all the pictures in a hurry. But it all started with me going up to the people and putting people in here. So I'm going to take one last look and see if our Steph Curry has any more people to find here. I'm going to go down here and say confirm additional photos. They haven't found them yet, but they don't do the work unless you're not using the program. So I can't really demonstrate that part, but we're on our way. Okay, that is it. And I finished with 3 minutes to go. Questions. I'm looking for folders versus albums versus events. Okay, events have to do with the time that you took, the time and the date that you took the picture. So that's an event. If you were to take a bunch of pictures today in one location, and then later you took pictures tonight, they're the same day, but they're different events. One's a luncheon and one's a birthday party or something. And the Photos app would figure this out. So that's what events are about. All right, other questions? Anyone? Just remember, Recents is your friend. Recents shows you the pictures you just brought in. So handy. One thing I didn't show you was how to rotate a picture. I'll just do it now. If the picture were not right side up, you got a little rotation here. And it should turn. There it goes all the way around. One other thing I forgot to do, another important album is the favorites album. So if I look at my favorites right here, these are the pictures in my favorites. If I want to add something else to my favorites, all I've got to do is find a picture I really like, and let's be fun if I could find one I really like. Okay, here's a great picture of Steph Curry. All you do is click the little heart. See, it didn't move from here, but it's just got a little heart there. You can also click right here, and it puts a little heart there. Turn it off if you don't like it, right? And if I go to favorites, now I have 2 more pictures in my favorites. So favorites is kind of a nice way to just sort of to give a little mark and say, that one. So nothing moves. It stays right where it was, but it's a great way for you to find your things in a hurry. You can unfavorite them later. Okay, friends and neighbors, that was it. Yes, leave your Mac on, leave it, and quit photos and let it process. If you're looking at your photos and you go to the very bottom, when it's first doing it, it's going to say at the bottom, it'll say something like curating, and you got to let it finish, okay? It took overnight for the program to find a face, these faces of Steph Curry, okay? They didn't know there was a face there at all. In fact, it didn't show a circle and a place to type. So yeah, I can do these by hand like this. So now I have 3 in Steph, but it takes time. Do not be impatient, okay? All right, that's it. Thank you very much for coming. You're all very welcome. See you next week. Tuesday for the hands-on editing on the phone. Thursday for the hands-on editing on the computer. Okay, thanks very much. Great time. If you still have questions, send me an email. Bye-bye until Tuesday.